Every time I hear llama tea, I think of llama tea. Because remember the llama would spit at her? And like, tea is like gossip, so I'd be like, give me the llama tea. I mean, of course they're all uneasy, right? Sorry, I was off in my own little world. Shall we get started? Are you alright, Geode? Me, I'm well enough given the circumstances. It was the Queen's fondest wish that her subjects remain shielded from horrors of death, and so they were for the longest time. Then the moment mortality once again became an unavoidable fact of life, they greeted with an outbreak of bloody violence. Many are bound to give endless alternative solutions consideration. Indeed, I do not blame them for that. It's only natural such thoughts would come to mind. What I cannot forgive is that Calyx wields fear and misery to manipulate people into making that choice. No one, not Calyx, nor anyone else, can dictate how we cope with the specter of death. As one who lived as an Alexandrian, I wish to put the choices for this country's future back in the hands of its citizens. And so you think you can handle that responsibility after everything you've seen of us? It is what I've seen that has convinced me you can. I awoke 4 centuries later to find people living, laughing beneath Alexandria's banner. Though surprised and bewildered, I was overjoyed to see it. You all deserve to be happy. Well then. We'd best not let you down. And I suggest you move as a group. We don't know for when the battle might find us. Oh, I believe someone came prepared for just such an eventuality. Oh. Is that the grimoire you retrieved from the old castle? Yes, my parents gave it to me when I was a child. They were adamant that I should learn to protect the things important to me. I was fortunate enough to have a tutor in the arcane arts, so I lay claim to some small measure of skill. Just like me, buddy. If that's the case, it might be better if we split into 2 groups after all. It would definitely be more efficient if information gathering. I guess that makes sense. The 2 of you can take the west side, the recreation zone then. Lexus and I will take the east. Very well then, we'll head our patrol of the plaza just past True View and wait you there. Alrighty. I used to drink here all the time. I made sure not to overdo it when I had to work the next day, but since we were passed by the busy season or when ladies weren't amenable to my company, well, you'd have to scrape me off the street outside in the morning or afternoon. The worst I ever got should have been the worst day of my life. If only I could remember it. I'm still wearing the regulator back then. It was also the first day I met Shale, although I guarantee she's forgotten it completely. Your story, I appreciate you offering sympathetic ear. There's not much to tell. Oh well. It's fine with me to ask. Well, I just registered my new regulator. I was really becoming nothing but memories at first, but now that I've gone through the registration, I never felt more at ease. Once this is done, the regulator displayed current members. Of the 5,000 slots available, over 3,800 have been registered and filled. If you're interested, I have not much to take up your mind. Make your mind up. Mark my words, friend. If there's only a few slots left, it's going to get very ugly. I feel like if there's a new factor in these stories we've heard, one we hadn't considered during our discussion, everyone at the back room. Fights are likely to break out of the Neo regulators. that a victim of the violence isn't wearing a regulator. Yes, that's it. The vast majority of residents have always worn regulators, so it's not a detail we normally think about. With the supply sources cut off, though, more and more people have been going without them. We need to look at the casualties from the recent attacks and check whether or not they were equipped with the regulators. Let's ask around the street to the east. It was pretty chaotic at the time, but we'll find eyewitnesses to help us confirm if this is a pattern or not. I mean, that's the first thing I like noticed immediately was like, did they have one on? Because that's the first thing you check. That's my job is to deliver goods of the hover cargo. That's why I know a fair number of names and faces at the city. The little ones who jumped for joy when I brought them packages, the old lady who'd greet me with a smile. I hate for anything bad to happen to them. How are you today? Please let me know I may be of service. Well, you're a robot who probably evil sciences. Okay, well... 87 individuals, casualty 19. None equipped with regulators. Interesting. And so science, evil science, no regulators. Yeah, evil science, no regulators, dead people, yep. That's the situation. So essentially you're saying that people who were killed by malfunctioning machines weren't wearing regulators. Well, the number of people so tentative only applied to one zone. We still don't know how they'll stack up against overall data, but this is definitely more than a coincidence. It's safe to say that anyone who had removed the regulators was a priority target. Now that you mentioned, the person I was treating for injuries wasn't wearing one either. But why? Why are they being targeted over everyone else? Because their belief... There's no one to argue against it. And based on this lack of neo-regulator, we cannot judge if a person has no desire to become endless or simply they fail to acquire one of the limited devices. But those who wear no regulator at all, it's obvious that they don't want to become one, see? Revive themselves. Put another way, they have chosen their lives, live their lives in knowledge that death is an inevitability. The chances that such resolute people will wish to become endless are far lower, I would imagine. And so Calyx has chosen the least likely to accept his vision as victims to stoke fear and panic. But there's no need to kill anyone. The way things were, people were already fearful enough. He could have had 5,000 willing citizens without all this madness. And you make a good point. Perhaps this is a sowing of terror in service to another scheme, or perhaps he had need of the lives he's taken. To fuel the what are the dust? I think he's using them to fuel the regulators, right? Right. The sanitation worker story. She saw no bodies but mentioned piles of white dust. Dust, no bodies? No, where have I heard that before? Do you recall when we were with Aaronville, Sentries and Outskirts? The Usher Malachite told us the same thing. Right. I think they're using it to fuel everything. Closeway spoke of missing remains and suspicious enough, but the shared mention of dust is too much to ignore. In this case, you should confirm if the substance is present at other sites and an attempt to ascertain its true nature. Following this thread may lead us not only to an explanation of the missing bodies, but to the intent behind Calyx's murderous actions. Oh boy. Yes, Minfilia, patch me through. Alexis, need your help. I've lost control of the soldiers in the residential area. They might be trying to hurt people again. Oblivion members are on their way now, but are you close enough to join them? I'm on my way. Hey, more robots. Investigation off the wait. Let's go. The kid's mom is gonna get killed in this residential area, isn't she?
Stay back! Stay away from me!
Leave him alone!
Are you all right?
What happened here?
A sentry walked into my apartment. Even though I'd locked the door and everything, I managed to run. But the man who tried to save me...
No weapons, which is to be expected, considering all the sentries were meant to be disarmed. Yet it was ordered to attack all the same, even if that meant using its bare hands.
I'll leave matters here to you. I'm going to do a sweep of the surrounding area.
No
Do you know
regulators.
anyone else in this sector who no longer wears a regulator?
Oh, I don't think I've seen Isadora and her boy with theirs recently.
Yep.
Go to them, quickly!
And they're dead, right?
Watte!
I'll be fine. But Isadora's in bad shape.
Yep.
Mother, please.
Isadora! Oh, thank goodness. She wasn't struck anywhere vital.
I'm sorry. If only I'd gotten here sooner.
You did her a solid and really helped her out.
Everything will be all right. I promise to make your mother better.
Thank you, miss.
Don't worry, I'm a healer too. Double heals, double effective.
Will she sleep like that forever?
No, not forever. She'll wake soon, I'm sure of it.
That's good to hear. Thank you for saving her.
I promise of tomorrow. Next patch. Ooh boy, the drama. It never ends. Forgive me, I was reckless. You shouldn't have wasted time tending to my wounds as well. You see other comrades back there? He stayed behind in the lobby, but I heard sounds of fighting. I'm sorry, you must have fallen protecting the citizens. Our comrade, yet you think he may have been struck down? If he's wounded or worse, I should go to him. Wait, please, it isn't safe, you need to rest. Would you stay with Milos and look over Isadora for me? We will tell your friend. Thank you, please be careful. Isadora's going to be alright then? I'm so glad. I just finished my ministrations here. Our Oblivion comrade was beyond saving, I'm afraid. That brave soul, he gave his life to save another. He died protecting me. I don't understand why any of this is happening. That sentry was behaving normally like any other, then all of a sudden it tried to kill me. Weapons or no, Calyx commanded them to commit murder. Is it over? We came as soon as they sent word. It's crazy. Obviously not. Yep, they saw too. I'm sorry, by the time we arrived, it was already too late. Then Geode could be in trouble too. Once we have his radius locked down, we need to find him. But why? Has something happened? And possibly, we're not sure, but he stopped responding to our communications. We need to prioritize securing the residential sector though, at least until we regain control over the sentries. Oh boy. Since most of the Oblivion matters have sworn off regulators, if our theory holds true, then it could be prime targets for the next attack. Most Oblivion members, indeed. Please do what we can to shepherd the residents to safety, but avoid the sentries at all costs. Okay, so special communicators. Have to keep trying to hail Geode. Good luck and stay safe. Geode said he'd sweep the surrounding area, so we shouldn't have to venture too far. Let's get going. You see no sign of Geode. The voice cracks through the... Okay, Geode, answer me. This is not good. He's probably a goner. Ugh, that's horrible.
This is the only place left. Let them be safe.
Geode, are you there? Answer me, please!
I'm here. Sorry for the long silence. I've been busy.
Oh, you're alive! Thank the gods! Where are you now?
The radius next door. The lobby is secure. I'll scout the second floor. Then I'll join it.
I knew it. They're sucking up the ether. That's why there's ash.
That dust.
Dust? What are you talking about? What's happening?
They're not just collecting souls.
Yep.
They're draining the bodies of corporeal ether. The dust that we saw was all that was left of the victims. They must have modified the soul cells. Shit. Damn you! You can't be here! You need to run, now!
Camouflage. Oh no.
A trap!
Well, he's done for.
Take care of the others, eh?
No sign of him so far. This way, maybe? Geode!
He's gone.
A shame. I had hoped to leave here with at least one more cell's worth of ether. But seeing how eager you are to interfere, I shall cut this foray short.
Calyx. What could you possibly stand to gain from these atrocities?
Ether sufficient to generate 5,000 endless. How would you acquire it?
Yep, I knew it. Jeez.
How would I?
Until I have the key, the reflections are closed to me. Thus do I make do with the sources at hand.
Wow, how crazy. Evil science indeed.
7% of Alexandria's current population will yield the energy to convert 5,000 into endless. With 11%, operations could continue unabated for 800 years. Our bodies are fated to decay sooner or later. These ones refuse the gift of eternal life, so what difference does it make if I return them to ether now?
Wow.
I will not waste time and resources on meaningless conflict. This unit cannot offer you worthwhile resistance. Instead, I pose a question. Would you hand over the key if I promised to halt my harvest?
I mean, you'd only seek other victims, right? Like, this is a stupid question. Crazy question from this person.
It was foolish of me to even ask.
Yeah, it was. Thank you.
I return to my work then. There is much to do if I must take the key by force.
Deposit Dusty's ashes. And the soul cell he left behind was his twisted way of returning Geode to us. Damn you, Calyx. Damn you, your careless cruelty. Here's our friend. Even so, some might say every death was justified if it meant 5,000 endless could continue their immortal lives. And if a reflection stolen ether allowed for more endless, why that too would be no sacrifice for the greater good. Who would think that? Not I. Obviously Calyx says. Certainly not I. We know only too well there is not noble in this sacrifice. We have to stop him. We have to find Calyx and put an end to this madness as soon as possible. Under no circumstance can we let the key fall into his possession, Lexus. It falls to us. We will thwart his plans here in Alexandria before he can terrorize innocents and reflections elsewhere. Well, that's unfortunately how I thought it was gonna go down.
Our dear Geode.
The soldiers. If only I'd been able to control them.
This isn't your fault, Gololja. The blame lies with Calyx, and with him alone. It's all so senseless. Why force his plans upon us when we're already happy? Living our lives. What does he even think life is? I'll never forgive Calyx for doing this. Or myself for being powerless to stop him. Wait, where are you going? To clear my head. Don't worry, I won't do anything stupid.
Stay here and get some rest. I'll make sure nostalgia stays out of trouble.
Thank you.
Things would have been far worse if you and Geode hadn't rushed in there. Many people are still alive because of you. And after adding what you discovered to the leads we've dug up, I'm hopeful we can determine where Calyx is hiding. But not right now. We need time before we can move on. Just a little time.
Oh, Geode.
Oh my gosh. Apologies, my mind was elsewhere. We need to press on the hunt for Calyx, but I can't seem to focus. I should be better than this, I know. As you said, you need time to work through it. You're right, I ought to heed my own words too. As it stands, I'm of no use to anyone. Say the best thing to do with grief was to let it all out. So I think I'll take myself over to Earth and Sky and say my goodbyes to Geode. Why don't you come along? I could use a blubber to blubber to if you have the shoulder to spare. Man, they're going heavy into this patch, aren't they? Jeez, like sadness heavy. These air wheelers are Janelle's babies. You won't find a smoother ride than all of Everkeep. For years now, I've been taking them out of turn whenever I need to lighten my mood. Sometimes Geode would come along too. We ended up racing. 8 million is small price to pay to get Geode back. Does that surprise you? Our friendship always had a competitive edge. We would often talk about how one day we might fly our wheelers outside the dome. Almost there. Be sure the ground is clear before you touch down. I'll help clear my head a touch. You know, Lexus, you might be the first person I've ridden with who wasn't an Oblivion recruit. And as far as I remember, at least, the memories of my regulator days aren't exactly reliable. Come on, let's head inside. Hopefully there'll be clear pests today. Ooh, thunder. Thanks, you can use avoid such counters, but sometimes they wander in and block our path. If you slow down, I never see you fight up close before, and the surveillance feed clearly didn't do it justice. Hopefully this keeps the route clear for a while, shall we see? And I feel bad for Shale, but I feel bad for everybody because, like, that's rough.
Whenever we lost a comrade, the three of us would come back here to reminisce. Me, Geode, and Kafkiwa. Will you raise a glass?
You're a very good guy.
What are the two of you doing here?
I had a feeling you'd show up. Would you like to join us?
I suppose I could spare a moment. They tell us Oblivion's founders disappeared some decades ago under mysterious circumstances. And it was Kafkiwa who revived our organization. You and Geode helped her with that, didn't you?
What's crazy about this story is that Nostalgia and like all these members that were like NPCs at the beginning have started taking like better roles, right? And like as their predecessors are like Geode are like gone, and it's interesting to see that these characters are moving to the forefront now.
You're keen to know too, right? What they were like back then. The mad things they got up to. That sort of thing.
Those were the days. It was actually right before the Reformation that I met Geode. I still wore a regulator then. I had recently lost someone close to me. And also quit a long stint as an adapter to work at a bar of all places. It paid me to sit with patrons and keep them company. So Geode came in one night. It wasn't long before we got into an argument. First time customer, but tempers flared. And then one of us threw a punch.
You got into a fist fight? What were you even arguing about?
Damned if I know. We were deep in our cups. I think we were both just frustrated and angry at everything. By the end of it, we were both sprawled out in the street.
Crazy.
Pair of drunken fools. Then this odd machine stopped to lecture us, scolding us for obstructing the foot traffic and not taking better care of ourselves.
I can't imagine you ever being in such a sorry state. The odd machine. That was Kafkiwa, I take it.
That it was. Once she was done upbraiding us for our unseemly behavior, she launched into a recruitment pitch. Kafkiwa explained that she wanted to protect the outside world from Zoralja's invasion, to keep him from bringing ruin to the place her beloved son lived. And if we were so intent on self-destruction, then perhaps we might consider risking our hides for a just cause.
Totally, like imagine being in awe of the story. Like, it's just like the oddest thing you've ever heard. You're like, what? This is how this
was
went
a lot
down?
to take in. I hadn't given much thought to what lay beyond the barrier, and learning that Kafkiwa herself was already dead was enough to make my head spin. But Geode and I were intrigued by her ideas, and wanted to see this future of hers come.
Geode often spoke of it. He told me that meeting Kafkiwa was what first taught him the value of remembering people.
Like he was sharing a holy revelation.
Oh, but back then you hadn't yet taken on Oblivion's name, had you?
Is that so? I just assumed.
It hadn't been Kafkiwa's intention to carry on Oblivion's legacy, nor adopt the cause your parents championed. Not initially, at least. She wasn't even aware such an organized resistance existed. She did, however, suspect the presence of other dissidents, those who objected to resurrecting the memories of the dead in defiance of the natural order. In the hopes of identifying like-minded comrades, we began searching the core system for traces of unauthorized access. And that's how we found it. An anomalous sector in the back of the Neon Stein. According to Melancholy, the door to that mystery had remained firmly shut since she took over the business.
The back room.
The back room. We forced our way in, only to discover that the hideout had long been abandoned. Although the occupants were gone, the equipment they'd left behind contained records of a group calling itself Oblivion. After reading through their exploits and their vision for the future, we made the decision to carry on their work.
Thus were my parents' and Kafkiwa's hopes bound together.
Wow.
And carried onward by Shale and Geode.
We could never have made it this far on our own, of course. Not without the strength of arms you and your friends provided. Losing comrades is a hard thing, but being here, thinking back on the moments we shared, I can see their smiles, hear their laughter. I feel their presence, and I know they're still with us. But these memories of mine are for me alone. Reminders of why I chose to do this, and why I'll stay the course. Right. Time we got back to work. Thank you, everyone.
No, it's me who should be thanking you. Though the pain is still deep, I don't feel like I'm drowning in it anymore. Let's get out there and put a stop to Calyx. For you, for me, and for everyone who's ever believed in oblivion.
Alright, well. Ay, ay, ay. I'm so thirsty. Give me a second. Okay. Lux, is that you? Apologies for calling us sudden. I've been making the rounds to the outskirts and I cannot help but feel as if something is amiss. Would you join me? From your perspective, we must appreciate it. I can't wait till you finish attending to Shale, of course. Oh boy. Speak with Sphene outside of the outskirts. I used an Aetherlight ticket. Oh no, oh well, it's fine. Worst 70 gil I've spent. Thank you for coming. As mentioned, I benefit from your world experience. So they're acting weird? What are they acting weird about? Oh, they're starting. They're just freaking out. They're just freaking out. That's all it is. They're just ready to freak out a little. Oh boy, the play music when mounted situation. Yeah, see, they're just going crazy. That's all this is. Ah, that's so creepy. Reminds me of like Persona 3 when everybody is like, the end's coming. Not that Persona didn't invent it first, but I mean like, it's a thing. Yes, absolutely right. The fear is palpable. Oh no. Of course.
What's happened? Sorry to drag you out here, but I thought it best you see for yourself.
Death is your constant companion. you toil with diligence, death may come ere your reward is bestowed. Though your grand works be poised for completion, death may come ere you wake the following morn. Though you enjoy a life of peace and good fortune, death needs but one instant to claim you. Your bodies are weak. Your heart, your brain, every fragile organ rolls the dice from moment to moment. Sheer chance deciding if they function or fail. Be you stoic or generous or righteous, no virtues tip the scales in that fatal reckoning. The choice is made without reason. The end is cloaked in terror. That is what it means to die.
The announcement began after we finished our meeting with Gossen. As for its source, well...
Alex.
There is no shame in being afraid. It is that very fear which will drive you to conquer death. Let us set a new course for mankind. Let us preserve our existence unto perpetuity. Hope for it, wish for it, pray for it. We will become endless. With evolution's brilliance, will we banish the ever-present darkness of mortality.
Change isn't easy. No one ever wants to take the first step. But this is the right path for us. What other way could there be? I'm gonna do it. I'm going to register.
Watte! You couldn't have come at a better time. Please, you have to let us move to Tuliyola.
It's too dangerous to stay here. Who knows when the next century will turn on us? Even if we wanted to become endless, there are no more neo-regulators to be had. Fleeing is our only option.
If the solution was as simple as leaving, then we'd all have left already. Did you not hear the announcement?
Dang,
For the
savage.
living, death is a foregone conclusion. No matter where we go, or who we shelter with, we won't get another chance like this to overcome our fate.
Easy for you to say when you have that regulator.
The Landsguard are on their way as we speak, and arrangements have been made to see that you all will be safely evacuated. Tuliyola will aid you in whatever way we can. So please, remain calm.
I want to help Alexandria. I want to save its people. But what can I do? I am not their queen.
I don't know how I feel about any of this, because I feel like none of this is her fault. None of this is like any of her fault, and she's taking it so hard. And I guess that's like she's basically confronting the alternate version of herself that made all these bad decisions, right? So like she's just taking it harshly, which rightfully so, because she sees it as a choice that she still made, even though it wasn't her that technically made it. It was technically her that made some of these decisions, right? So looking in a mirror, not liking what you see, you know? Well, they're all gonna go to Tuliyola, right? Alright, well... beat up that clerk behind us who's staring at us funny. Tiliolol will gladly take every last Alexandrian with open arms. But what if the nation of the late queen was desperate to preserve? Or what if that bright haven for peace and laughter? Hooklemat. I won't stand here and let her legacy be soiled any further. I will protect Alexandria. That was the promise I made to her at the last. But she betrayed you, did she not? Why do you feel this obligation? I saw myself in her, I suppose. We both felt the people's joy as our own, yet alone, we lacked the strength to protect them. There's so much that I love in this world, too much to make my arms and keep safe, and that made me afraid. I needed someone who shared the love and fear, so together we could do what we couldn't by ourselves. Or maybe it's simpler than that. Maybe I just wished that I could have been friends. That we could have been friends. So when she turned to me in her final hour, desperate to safeguard Alexandria's future, I swore I would see it done. In the end, I think you both found the friend you needed. I would be yours as well, Sveen. Whenever you fall or struggle to rise, I'll come to the rescue, and you will do the same for me. That's how we'll protect things we love. That's how we'll protect Alexandria. You're right, you're right. And don't forget about me. Would we not be here without you? Right, we got a bit sidetracked there. So we should be on our way. Do we patrol or see if Shell needs a hand? There you all are. Gulja! Ah, splendid. We're afraid we missed you. Alice and the others said you were here. We found a chink in Calyx's armor. Great. Ever keep 10th level house a preservation initiative. Alrighty. So they found a way in. Okay, off we go. It's interesting that all the dungeons are in the city, right? Like they're part of the city instead.
So this is one of Preservation's laboratories.
It's so dark I can barely see.
Just a moment. If I can reroute the power to the circuit.
You got the lights working! Smell how stale the air is. This room hasn't been in use for many years.
It was thanks to Kryl and Galulja that we managed to locate this place.
You may remember that my earring contained the control code for the gate to the Golden City.
Right.
As it was Preservation that constructed the portal, we reasoned that the code to operate it might include a signature of some sort, unique to their organization.
I remember, because we were like, Golden City, Golden City, City, Golden City, City Gold, Golden City, City, Gold City.
So I took
That's
a closer look, and a line-by-line examination yielded a string of symbols identifying the code's author. We then began accessing the nodes for every door in Everkeep, seeking out control codes which contained those same symbols. After a grueling search, we finally discovered our prize behind door number 1860, the entrance to the facility in which we now stand. I'd probably still be at it if Galulja hadn't been around to assist me.
I took breaks, but Shale never stopped working. Not even once.
You're a treasure, Shale. Mm-hmm.
I can contribute precious little else, I'm afraid, but I appreciate your kind words. In any case, this next part will require your helping hands.
We need to spread out and search for something that may lead us to Calyx. We're more than happy to help, of course, but I wonder, won't he realize we've found this place?
It's highly likely, and personally I hope he does.
Wow, spicy. You all know our main objective. We're here to pick up Calyx's trail. As we've learned, a certain device should be able to help us to do just that. I'll explain how we proceed, but according to the information I was able to dredge up, the device in question should have been installed in the director's office. Now, as far as that might be, yes, this map matches my data. This room where searches are commons, located in the western side of the complex. The director's office is northeast of here. Should we cut across the circular chamber in the middle? Yes. We should, but... Fortunately for us, the interior door is locked. We need the security key. Great. And can't you, work some electric magic? Yeah, right. Alright, we're gonna look around. Credit. Personal belongings. Okay, let's see. Level 1. Okay, that we're looking for a try on the door to see if it opens. I don't think that would be the case. Considering it's a level 1 card key. Oh! Well, first try. It's opening, did it, Lexus? Yes, first try, Lux. And a good thing too, I was getting nowhere without the outdated circuit. I was curious though, why abandon a facility like this? And it was run by Dr. Demetrius. What? Demetrius Urievis? Or so the terminal told me. Perhaps some more answers to me once we venture further inside Demetrius. Then let's continue onwards. The door of the director's office is across the central hub. Wow, he's everywhere, isn't he? Another one? I doubt it'd work though. Okay. I wish I hadn't gotten the keycard first so I could study up on like what's going on, you know what I mean? Sure. Implemented preservation, orthodox instincts are correct, Master Cox's philosophy. So it's organization. Meeting Dr. Demetrius Urievis today. I heard other praises of genius intellect, Master Cox's blinding brilliance. $158. Okay. I will preserve this historic number along with a few worldly effects. Okay. So, 158. Oh, 158. Hold on. Let's go back. Obviously not 158. Tail? No. 201,930. That's too many numbers though. 11,509. Excuse me. Huh. Nice. 11,509 was the magic number. Leaving notes, losing cards, I guess. I imagine there'd be more, what's the word, bloodless mechanical? My parents were once part of preservation, if you recall. It would seem researchers who agreed to Calix's philosophy underwent the conversion of endless entities. But I assume those who could not or would not eventually left the organization together. I almost forgot the researchers kept journals in their data tablets. And I read it didn't explain much, but something big happened in the complex afterwards. It decided that everyone would become endless. The writer's really happy about this. You can tell how much they admired Calix and his works. Yeah, I read that earlier. Alrighty. Okay, let's go take the card. Here you go. Scanning device waits for security card appropriate level of clearance. Here we go. Alright. Let's start the lab. Okay, so we need a contingency to open the door. So we've got to go to the other location instead. Gauging power supply. No good returning air. It must be preliminary procedure. According to this error code reference, the power supply had been interrupted by an extended period of time. We need to reconfigure both the emergency generator and the circuit control panels. Shale, the emergency generator over there, isn't it? Yes, and by the looks of it, the same model as the one we used in the Heritage found. But how does it send power to the lab? Ah, I see. The energy cable attached to the base of the terminal leads down the hall directly to the Deutero lab. Which means you need to find a way to connect the generator to that cable. Puzzle time. Alright. Okay. Okay, so Wicklamat. Okay, so uninterrupted path, got it. Half circle. It's not a half circle. Oh, I see what they want to do. Okay. A half circle. Is there not a half circle? Oh wait, it's this way, right? Gulj is the circle, right? I may have misunderstood, so let me look. Guluja is the square to circles. Square above it, circle. Square. Above it is circle. Here would be it worked! We did it, Luxus. Nah. The Deutero lab should now be fully powered. Well done, everybody. If I may, Shell, could we access a certain data log before moving on? I was checking the store shelves, and one of the labels caught my eye. Preservation of the early days in the title. Of course, it'll only take a moment to bring up the contents. That looks like a text-based account. I'll read it out. Preservation and Alexandria Institute for Technological Development was founded by Calyx, 11-year-old child prodigy. Approval for establishing organization came along Alexandria's involvement with the Storm Surge, which Calyx designs for new defensive solutions funded in large part by the Treasury. As conflict grew in intensity, casualties mounted, Calyx funneled the preservation resources towards perfection of memory storage. Research into this field continued after the Storm Surge came to an end, and Calyx eventually elected to preserve his own memories in a virtual domain. So this account is from when he embraced the endless existence, hundreds of years ago. I met him only once before the Storm Surge. I was attending my father, who was the reigning king of Alexandria. Calyx could not have been more than 10 years of age and required constant treatment for his debilitating illness. Yet he still published theories so highly regarded that even the royal family was aware of his achievements. Life should not be lost to injustice of death. Even now I can hear the single-minded will behind his words. So it was certain that when war came to our kingdom, my father was quick to commit his unwavering support to this somber youth and his proposals for preservation. Several years later, the ensuing violence brought death to both my parents. Overwhelmed as I was by my sudden succession to the throne, I suspect they spared me the reports of the endless research and other less urgent matters. So you had no way of knowing what kind of person Calyx was changing into. Did he change, I wonder? Or perhaps he'd always been the same type to value these ideals over compassion, and I failed to see it at the time. Or perhaps he did change, but is still driven by those same deeply held beliefs. that the morality is cruel and unjust, and his role is to deliver mankind from this fate. Whatever the case may be, I cannot allow him to shape our future. Let's press on, shall we? Alright, I've done my job correctly. The door to the Dawntrail lab should be open. Oh boy. Open sesame, Shale. Smooth the silk. Let's head and see what awaits. Gods above, isn't that? Oh no! The key to interdimensional fusion? Looks like it's a schematic on the monitor. They used to make it another key, but isn't that missing shard inside the one that Lexus has? We may be laboring under a misconception. The key was originally a Malal relic. Once this treasure came into its possession, preservation began working to harness the power across dimensions. Aside from the crystal, we can see that the vessel component were constructed here, so what might that tell us? The crystal itself is the key? This device is just a device they made to control it. That'd be a logical conclusion. Yes, it is as my parents explained. He remains shrouded in mystery. Preservation augmented it with electro, but never grasped the technology's underlying principles. To this day, not a single person understands the mechanics of interdimensional fusion, not who imbued the key with its power, nor when they did it, or so why. Ah. Now it makes sense. Calyx can track the key because the vessel was made by preservation. I believe there's much we can learn by this room. On the next visit, I'll have to enlist your Stola assistance through the thorough investigation. I'm curious too, a great many things, but pinning down Calyx's whereabouts are priority here. Hopefully there's a security card here that grants us access to the director's office. Alright, let's see if there's anything good. Level 3. Nice. Were they? Well, we should be okay. I'm a quick thinker, I think. Certain devices are going to help us. I haven't explained myself, have I? I'm looking for a data relay. After we discovered the abandoned complex, I performed a cursory investigation which detected a connection on the outside network. When I traced the data's routing, I confirmed the traffic of web of the Everkeeper security camera. Okay. Obviously they're monitoring. Since Calyx is the ultimate recipient of those transmissions, the flow of data is like a river that we can follow back to him, which is why we need the data relay. If we can analyze the device, we'll see if it's rerouting all its surveillance traffic. Then you can pinpoint Calyx's position. Right. That said, he hasn't done anything to impede our progress, which makes me think it might be entirely on the wrong track. Maybe the reason he isn't stopping us is because he can't? Back in the old castle, Calyx said he was measuring Letitia's strength. What can he possibly dream up that's stronger than her? Speaking of cameras, there's another thing I meant to mention, that evidence that someone deliberately disabled the surveillance feed in this room. The most recent recording was crudely deleted, and I was able to restore the data if you'd like to see it. Alright.
Are you really planning to leave?
Yes. The idea of eternal life. It's begun to frighten me.
I struggle to renounce our conventional wisdom. Death is the means by which life prunes its branches, leaving the trunk to grow strong and tall. We die so that our species may flourish. What would become of mankind were we to halt that process? If unending stagnation is the fruit of our labor, then perhaps we strive for the wrong thing.
Your argument is a rejection of Master Calyx's vision.
I mean, is that not their right to be able to do that?
I suppose it is. Perhaps such dread would not plague me, were I capable of sharing his perspective on the subject.
Right? That doesn't sit right with her morally, ethically.
He and I are too different. In too many ways. I lack his extraordinary genius.
Madness?
I had no illness threatening to cut my life short, no singularity of will to cut away all distractions and focus solely upon research.
I have nothing but respect for his determination. The way he overcame his prognosis and seized the means to transcend death itself. But I'm not convinced that this obsession with living is the right path. That's why I've decided to leave preservation and put all my effort towards building a legacy for the next generation to come. Surely you...
Well...
Protocol, you understand. There can be no exception.
As expected. Ridiculous. She really wanted to leave and he executed her. I checked the images beyond the personal data. The man who pulled the trigger was director Demetrius Yurievis himself. Figures. Wait, didn't that happen? That happened. Did that not happen? I haven't seen a second scene. Flashbacks with the gun. Everything I could find on him pointed to deep infatuation with Master Calyx. The cameras in this room have been out of operation ever since that incident. Given the recording was erased, I can only assume he was trying to conceal his grisly deed from the other researchers. I'm not surprised given how many my parents described their defection from the Institute. They spoke of rushing me through the portal even as preservation agents closed in on them. I did not speak what become of them after that, but if it turns out they were captured by their pursuers... They did not regret their actions. Trial. Right, the Echo. Knowing you saw them as they were, your words give me great comfort. Trial. Worry not, Sphene. Thanks to the Haven of Living Memory, I was able to at least meet my parents and learn what they stood for. It is enough for me to carry on. Even now, we don't know how the conflict unfolded between your parents and preservation. But what we do know is your mother and father cleverly expunged every last trace of their movements. They made sure no one else could cross into the source or threaten their child's safety. Right, let's press on, shall we? This tale behind the key deserves a fitting conclusion. To the director's office. Alright, here we go. Okay, office is smaller than the map suggested. Positive we're in the right room. What am I missing? Requires passwords to be put simultaneously at terminals in Protolab, Deuterolab, and Director's office. Okay. Wow. Nope. wrong place to search. Somebody clearly cared about the doctor. A little too much. Shut down protocols. Corporal dissolution. As the key remains the physical world, must keep its complex and pristine condition. Okay. "13 researchers sustained fatal injuries. Process number. Malal. Major incident. Details of full report." Okay. These two inept Malal broke with preservation and absconded the key. The fugitives have since been caught and eliminated. Oh my gosh. I did not want to read that. Oh, Cryo, I'm sorry. Let's talk to Cryo. Where's Cryo? Oh. Lalafell sibling. Do we tell her? They didn't tell her, did they? Did they tell her? That her parents were eliminated? They said that they were eliminated. With instructions accessing the secure room no less, it seemed that we need to enter a password on 3 different terminals at the same time. No such room marked on the map was there. No, precautionary measure, no doubt, and if the passwords are involved, I expect the access lift itself is concealed too. And by electro, you mean? Could it be a wall? I thought it seemed something odd when I walked past. Remember what Kapkiwa used to say, Shale? Never trust an electro surface. Electrope isn't always what it appears to be. You can pass right through Electrope. Truly, I never had that property in my time. Alexa's having a little fun, I think. What we mean is Electrope can project a false appearance. In which any case, it shouldn't be too hard to disable. Another door. I managed to deactivate the projection, but it looks like its lock is another story. Didn't take the layout password protocol. I say we go ahead and try it. I agree. 2 people should prepare the lab terminus for the input. The rest should look for the password here in the office. Proto lab. I'll take the Deutero lab. Actually, it might be better if you stayed here, Sveen. Your knowledge of Alexandria's people could be needed here. This part confused me because I couldn't remember if they were backed up before or when they got caught, and they still allowed them to be in Memoria even though it says they were deemed worthy since they defected. Well, in the note just now that we read, it says it's a little confusing too because it says they already eliminated the 2, but they couldn't obtain their relic. So here it suggests that they already took them out. Now what they define as eliminated, I don't know what they eliminated, like what that means. Because they had to have ended it, yeah, I don't know. I mean, here's the thing, if they're in living memory, it could also be that Calyx needs their minds, right? Like, Calyx is a genius, yes, but he can't achieve everything on his own. And if the parents discovered something that he is not privy to, that he needed their minds for, he might have put them in there. That might be like a mental prison. Hilarity of Xenosaga and parody to UMN and everything in Missing Year. But, I mean, the concept of, like, a mental prison is not not foreign to us. But, Xenosaga Missing Year, but you never know. Once you determine who took an input, take a place at this tournament, I'll stand by, we'll Matt and Krile through that process. You know, there's a display plate over here, one of the gems. I thought maybe it's a site made of electro, but it seems like some other purpose. Oh, Kryle's got the... Kryle, we need your item. We're here. Where's Kryle at? Cool, Joe, what are you staring at? Go over it, buddy. Yep, nice, Alexandrite. Okay, so now that we have this, let's place it into the frame. Alexandrite should fit. Okay, cool. Oh, so this is the 3 points. Okay, so these are the 3 points that need to be the password input. Okay. Arcane circuit. This whole thing is a circuit. No? A floor plan of this complex, yes, but it is a in and of itself. Here. Yes, I knew the jewel would come in handy. Let me see. Heed the stones? There must be some special meanings Alexandrians have for gems. It's an odd belief, I think, which is a type of gem that means something different. I bet if you ask Fiend, she could tell you more about it, even though her name comes from a gemstone. Okay, then let's cancel for now. And let's talk to Fiend. Alright, buddy. This is true. This is actually pretty cool to ask everybody and interact with people to talk about it. Okay, protection. What do you think has something to do with the password? Yes, we found a frame over there with gemstones. Sapphire and garnet. They all have meanings. Alexandrite is protection. Sapphire represents honesty and garnet devotion. We should try these words at the terminal to see if they're accepted. I certainly hope we're right. Okay, so then that would mean... Where are we adding that in? Wait, oh sorry. Devotion, garnet, honesty. Okay, so... Proto Lab, Director's Office. Okay, Proto Lab and Director's Office. The bottom, this one is, Deutero. Okay, so let's head to the Deutero lab. Proto lab is this way. Wukalamat. Wukalamat. Where's I need to place all three. Maybe I don't need to do it, I need to tell them that. Hold up. Okay. Okay. So Proto Lab is Sapphire. It would be Honesty. Devotion. Protection. Nice. Okay. We're clear. I'm glad that worked out. The secure room is the only place we've yet to search. If data relay is anywhere, it has to be there. We'll venture in as soon as Wukalamat and Crowd join us. Too many Resident Evil playthroughs with gemstones and passwords. No, just like keys and matching doors and stuff. My Tomb Raider skills, Resident Evil skills, my puzzle solving. Alright, everyone, time to board the lift and see what awaits us. Another room. With a laptop.
This terminal doesn't look special to me, but this is definitely what we're after?
It is, but whether or not it will suffice for our purposes is another question.
Oh. What you looking at?
The Endless are created using the memories of the deceased. But as memories are, in essence, collections of data, the resultant entities have no physical form.
Right. Which is why
data entities, as we might call them, have only two methods for interacting with the material world. One of these we saw in Living Memory, where the Endless are granted temporary bodies through the use of corporeal ether.
Hence, taking the ether from the bodies.
Solid ghosts that one can see and touch.
They need vessels.
The other method, which Kafkiwa employed, is the remote operation of a machine. But where do you suppose the Endless are to be found when not inhabiting a physical body?
The etheric sea, right?
The Endless are memories, and if memories are data, then...
Inside Electro? In a world formed of data, that wouldn't be it. It's in Electrope, it conducts it, right?
Yes, we suspect they reside in a virtual domain, one contained entirely within an electrope-based machine. We've seen such a realm before, after all.
Oh, you mean like the Alexandria made from the Endless Fiend's memories? It all seems so real.
So this virtual domain, it would also be housed within the Meso terminal?
But how? I thought we shut down all the terminals in Living Memory.
You did. And Kafkiwa's program performed just as she intended. The Meso terminal itself was deactivated, as evidenced by the failure of the device which was keeping Spheen's body in stasis. Be that as it may, we face a master of electrope engineering. That he managed to partition and protect a sector harboring his own memories is well within the bounds of possibility.
Let us say that the Meso-Terminal does indeed contain a second domain, and that Calyx himself resides there. This city, on the other hand, exists here in the Source. That being the case, I thought perhaps we could prevent his remote interference by closing the gate to the Golden City, and thus severing the connection between worlds.
Except I tried to close it
Right.
once already when I
I was about
visited
to
living
say,
memory.
that's not gonna work.
The process
you know.
required administrative authorization.
Yeah.
A restriction I assumed at the time had been imposed by the Queen.
But it's not.
But now you think Calyx might be responsible.
Just as I suspected. Even now, security transmissions from throughout the keep are being tapped by the core system and routed elsewhere. Almost every single one has you as its focus. He's keeping track of the keyholder's movements.
Time's up, and what a waste of time it's been. Hoping to find me by tracing security data? That will not be necessary. Through a not inconsiderable effort, I've taken your measure and prepared a force sufficient to subdue you. Come. I invite you to the upper reaches of the Meso-Terminal. The storage device which holds my memories is there. Break the memory bank and victory is yours. I, in turn, will seek to wrest the key from you with any and every means at my disposal.
And if we refuse this invitation?
I will wait and continue to convert Alexandrians into Endless. Consider the urgency of the situation and make the wiser choice.
Answer me one question, Calyx. The Endless Fiend. When she was queen, you had her face an impossible task, then manipulated her into using the key when she was at her most desperate. If you can do all that, then why not whisk it away when her plans went to ruin? Why let it fall into our hands?
You pour salt in the wound. That disaster was a miscalculation on my part. As her end drew near, Sphene and her restructured memories had become one with the terminal's control systems. In that singular place, in that singular moment, she wielded an authority greater than mine.
Jeez.
Thus she was able to shield you, the neighboring sovereign to whom she entrusted her nation's future.
That's crazy.
And the hero to whom she entrusted that priceless key. I am unsure to what degree she perceived my presence, but she knew that someone was watching. Does that satisfy your curiosity?
It does. And I'm satisfied that you will take nothing more from this nation. Not one more life, not one more future, not one single smile from another child's face. You hear me?
Oh, that bugged him.
Sorry for losing my temper.
Nope, you're
But
good.
there's only one way we can deal with people like Calyx.
Violence. No. Violence.
Whatever grand future he envisions, someone
Never
will
the
be made to
answer.
pay the price. And I won't let that happen.
He's wrong if he thinks he can take, if he's taken our measure. Yeah, that's probably the best thing I would say. Yeah, that's good. Good enough for me. Arms crossed as well.
If I may, I realize it is not my place to say this. Even so, I must thank you both. On behalf of my other self, allow me to say how grateful I am to have you as our champions.
Well, that was an adventure. It may not have been the method Shale was hoping for, but at least now we know where to find Calyx and what we need to do next. Indeed, I must remain curious about preservation's research into the key than an investigation for another day. Then let's head straight to the back room. We should get everyone on the same page before we make our move. That infuriating and condescending way he spoke to us to see his time was up, you smug little weasel. Alrighty. Well, hold on. Before we continue, what I wanted to do was, I have so many screenshots. Like, yeah, they're all wrong. I wanted to check really quick. Select a multiple. I didn't mean to take that one. I didn't mean to take this one. Some of these are pretty good. This is not. Did your character do that? Did your character when what was her name, Isolda or whatever her name is, when she got injured, did you help heal her too, or is that like a healer thing? Like, did you not help heal? I was curious. I wasn't sure, so I was like, maybe. I assumed that was a yes, but also I wasn't sure. Okay, let's go. Alex, I offer you the opportunity to confront him directly. And though it feels like striding face first into an ambush, we have little choice. If we're to destroy the memories he supposedly stored in the upper reaches of Mesoterminal, then that is where we must go. We're still upset about being deprived of the end of my moment. Nevertheless, I'll do my due diligence. I can confirm the relay that we found is transmitting surveillance data to this device somewhere in living memory. When you go fight Calyx, pray, let me fight alongside you. Let me fight the memory of Otis and Zelenia, and for the lost fiend that I may have become, but most importantly for my beloved kingdom and a joyful tomorrow. Yeah, it's always been your fight, if not more, right? Oh my goodness. Thank you for understanding what this means to me. I'll be coming along with you as well. You know my reasons. I hardly need to say it, but your fellow Scions have every intention of accompanying you to battle. So adamant, whereas I'll say the others the point that they already had left from living memory. I need not already do the same. What you gonna do? Keep patrolling the streets for signs of trouble. Yes. Alright, in the back room. And right. Okay, we're gonna go chase after. Justifications aside, we shall be acting against the wishes of all who desire to become endless. Exactly, we don't know if Gotham will approve or oppose our chosen course. Either way, we're leaving without a word is the wrong thing to do. Should be on our way. Yep, to resolution first. Alright, we'll see you when it's over, everybody. Ugh. We could have. I probably could have gotten through 3 patches today if I'd started a little bit earlier. Oh my gosh, they're pretty short. What's crazy is this is like the length of one. This whole entire stream was like the length of one ZZD or HSR patch. That's how much they have dialogue in Honkai and ZZZ. Crazy. What's worse is I have to edit all this later. Okay. Listen here, buddy. Not good news for people who disagree with regulators.
I see. A difficult situation. In the absence of an official sovereign, I agree that it is not Preservation's place to dictate the future of our nation. However, I also cannot simply take a side and declare my support for your efforts to defeat Calyx.
Is that because of the new regulator you wear?
Wow. Trial ever the scholar challenging people's ways to think.
I find myself caught between the fear of dying and the desire to carry out the duties of governance.
This is such an important lesson. This is why I like Final Fantasy. It teaches you, like, you've got to think on things. You can't just make a decision. And there's people like Gostin here who are thinking about it. Consciously taking action to think about what is right.
My greatest concern is how we shall stem this ever-increasing terror of mortality when becoming endless is no longer an option.
Yep.
And that's to say nothing of the recent slaughter committed by our own soldiers. The fact that such violence was perpetrated for the very purpose of creating Endless will, paradoxically, make it more difficult to endorse your chosen course. It may not seem logical, but for those who lost friends and family in the attacks, halting the creation process altogether would render the deaths of their loved ones utterly meaningless. Is it not cruel to rob them of what little solace they could claim, when we have only just learned what it is to mourn? Tell me, how are we meant to overcome such tragedies?
We stop begging others to teach us for a start.
Yeah. Wow. Look at these NPCs stepping up to no longer be NPCs. Let's go. That's so hilariously awesome.
For the
it's
longest
so funny because they're
time,
NPCs, but
we've
they're not
been protected
anymore.
by Queen Sphene and the systems put in place by our forebears.
Alexandrian citizens rising up.
The hardships and responsibilities of life were distant things, and we felt entitled to our comforts.
even as we barely noticed those who risked everything to keep us sheltered. But no more. From now on, we need to learn on our own. How to live with the promise of death. How to endure the pain of loss. We may never learn to love such things, but we may learn to survive them. The people beyond the barrier, even the Alexandrians of old, they've all had to live with these fears. There's no reason we can't do it too.
What are you all doing here?
Malachite called us in, and the Oblivion members briefed us on the current crisis. You don't stand idly by while your house burns down.
Yeah.
We came together and thought about how we could help.
Long story short, we've decided to join the fight alongside Oblivion. I say fight, but we're well aware of how little use we'd be in actual combat.
A battle of ideas, on the other hand. Now that we might be qualified to do something about.
Nice.
We'll talk to our neighbors and do our best to quell their fears. Convince them to make the most of this life and enjoy all it has to offer. Perhaps that will help to ease your burden.
It certainly will. Even if a few are assuaged by your words, it will make things easier.
Those who have already registered will be difficult to sway, but there are still many who waver. Those are the ones we'll concentrate on.
Thank you, Rianj.
Gossan, if you truly care for the people of Alexandria, then now's the time to start thinking of ways to prevent more deaths.
Were I to become endless at the expense of my countrymen's lives, I would regret it for the rest of my existence. Forgive my weakness. When the people have lost their way, it falls to the government to support and guide them.
How it should
Alexandria can rise above this sorrow and find its way forward once more. Is that not so, Your Majesty?
Indeed it is. No, that wasn't... what I meant to say was...
Calm down, Sphene.
Amity, you used her name.
That actually is pretty funny.
The perfect resemblance to our beloved Queen Sphene has not escaped our notice. Yet we also understand that you are not her. Having to live in secret, unable to share who you really are, that must have been hard on you. When you come back, please tell us all about yourself. I imagine yours is a rather outlandish story, but we're eager to hear it all the same. You're one of us, an Alexandrian, and we don't abandon our own.
I promise to return. And when I do, I look forward to speaking with you all.
Okay, let's go. Oh, preventing the registration number by hiding it. Interesting. Yeah, surplus would make sense, so that way they had extra in case. And on to living memory.
Things seem much the same.
So listen, you have nothing more to fear than any other normal day. Deep breaths. We'll get through this.
You'd be telling them much the same if you were here. I suppose it falls to me now.